Hi everyone! Today we are looking at Johanna Basford's brand new book, Wonderful Wildflowers. I'm more nervous about this review than I think I ever have been because I'm not in love with the book the way that I've been with Johanna's previous releases. But before I get into it, I just want to say right up front, and it goes without saying, Johanna is absolutely lovely. When we met for a cuppa to chat and have a look at her then newest release, which was How to Draw Inky Wonderlands, I thought she was genuinely one of the nicest people you can ever hope to meet. She's humble, she's immensely talented, obviously, and of course she's had a massive influence on the colouring world. If we had to name one person that was the figurehead of colouring books and the emergence of adult colouring in general, it would be Johanna. So nothing I'm going to say here is meant in a harsh way at all. This is just an honest review of a book, totally separate to the illustrator and the obvious beauty of her work. Like we all know, she's amazing. So let's just have a quick look at the cover and the introduction and things like that, and we'll get straight into it. So it is exactly the same size, shape, format. I bet you're all sick of hearing me say that, but it's the only way I can say it. As her previous books, so they're all going to fit beautifully on the shelf together. We've got the gold foiling on the cover. I absolutely love this kind of pastel lemon colour that she's put on this book. It's gorgeous. And then on the back we have a little bit of a blurb about what it's all about, but of course it's all about flowers because that's what it's called. So let's open it up. The inside cover is just a card on its own. There's no flaps or dust jackets or anything, which I prefer because I don't like slippy things getting in the way and getting folded up and ruined. Then we've got the title page, and this side there is the copyright information and a cute little heart, and then the nameplate page, again surrounded with flowers. Then we have an introduction from Johanna saying that within the pages you will find an abundance of blooms awaiting your colours. Hidden among them are the 12 rare species featured in the plant hunters list at the back of the book. Can you find them all? So we've got a little bit of a hide and seek sort of quest to follow through this book, which is fun. She's saying that she took inspiration from the nature that surrounds her home in rural Scotland. And I've been to Scotland. That's where I met Johanna. And I've been through the Cairngorms and the National Forest. It's absolutely stunning. Like photographs and seeing it, on videos does not do it justice. Scotland is one of the most beautiful places on earth. And she's saying that's where her inspiration is from. So woodland walks and riverside strolls. But she is also saying that some of these flowers are imagined. They're not things that she's seen and, like a bluebell. These are completely from her imagination. So, yeah, there we go. She's then got her top tips for colouring, which is obviously, we've had this in previous books. Prefers to use pencils, adding a bit of glitter gel pen for shimmer, and using the colour palette test pages at the back of the book. So there we go. And then we're straight into the book. So I'm going to flip through this and have a chat about my opinion on the book. Again, take it with a pinch of salt. This is just my opinion. It doesn't have to be yours. Don't come at me in the comments, like, by all means tell me why you think I'm wrong, but yeah. let me just get on with it, shall I? So first impressions when I opened Wonderful Wildflowers, it is beautiful, of course it is. Johanna's artwork always has this really warm and elegant charm to it, but if I'm being completely honest, it didn't give me that same feeling that her older books did. There's a lot of white space this time, and the pages feel noticeably simpler. Still beautifully drawn, of course, but just not quite as intricate or immersive as something like Enchanted Forest or Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. But then again, that was a long time ago now, so things change over the years, don't they? This book feels quite pared back, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just doesn't have that kind of captivating, magical feel that we're used to with Johanna. And I've been thinking about why that might be. And I actually think it could be down to how colouring trends have shifted lately. Of course, I might be wrong here. Again, it's just my thoughts. But recently, the cosy colouring trend has really taken off. The easy, bold illustrations with more open space and that you can finish them in one sitting. So that's all about kind of stress-free colouring and unwinding, rather than getting lost in a super detailed page for days on end. And that's great. I love that colouring has become more inclusive and less intimidating. And I myself have coloured some of those types of pages and I've enjoyed it for what it is. So it makes sense that if Johanna's experimenting with a more minimal approach, this is the kind of artwork that we might get. And of course, it's nothing like the bold and easy colouring books. It's still, you know, fine lines, delicate blooms. There's nothing bold and thick about the lines and very childlike, but just maybe that's where this simpler sort of theme has come from. But if, like me, you fell in love with her work for those really detailed, enchanting worlds that she created, you just might find that this book doesn't quite scratch that itch. And there's something else that I think a lot of people are feeling, and I do mean to say this gently and with lots of love. I think some of us are just a bit tired of the flower themes now. It's obviously something that Johanna's passionate about, and she does it beautifully. We know that. But we've already got Wildflowers, which I actually prefer to this book. And a lot of her other books are very nature and garden based too, you know, as we know. And I think many of her fans were probably hoping for something fresh, maybe a new storybook style like Ivy, or even something totally different like a Four Seasons theme book, or a round the world adventure with Johanna, you know. She's such a creative person, and I think people are ready to see her stretch those wings just a little bit more. I asked what you all thought on my socials of this book, and oh my goodness, the comments were so interesting. There was a real mix and variety of people's opinions, but the general feeling was really similar to what I'm saying. People still adore her. There's so much respect for what she's done, but there's definitely a sense of this is just more of the same. And a few of you said it straight jumble. It's really pretty, but it feels repetitive. Some people said they were more disappointed after seeing flip-throughs, that they'd already pre-ordered it because there's too much white space and there's not enough detail. Other people said they've got enough florals now and they want to see her try something different. And again, people said, well, I actually love Johanna's flowers and I'm really happy to have another book of flowers from her. So it's really cut down the middle, I think, people's opinions on this one. It's quite interesting. But none of it is hate, not at all. It's coming from people who have supported Johanna from the very beginning, people who genuinely love her work, excuse me, and they want to see that same spark of imagination again. But, you know, then again, there's so many amazing colouring book illustrators now. If we want something different, surely we can simply go to another book for that. But I think what it is it's because Johanna's style of drawing is so loved and so pleasing to colour. We want her lines and her spark, but maybe a bit more variety in the themes. But there's still moments of that classic Johanna magic in here, don't get me wrong. There's a few pages that absolutely capture that whimsical charm that we all fell in love with. But overall, it doesn't feel as inspiring or as exciting to colour for me personally. So I think it really depends on what you're looking for. If you love the idea of simple, peaceful colouring with loads of breathing room, and of course, if you love colouring flowers, that you'll probably enjoy this one a lot. If you really enjoy doing backgrounds, this might be your favourite Johanna book of all. It's really calming, and of course, it's well printed. The quality is as brilliant as it ever is. But if you've been following her for years, you might have been hoping for something adventurous and different, so this might feel a little bit samey. All of that said, it doesn't mean it's a bad book. Far from it. Artists evolve, their styles change, you know, but maybe this more comfortable style is where she's at creatively right now. After all, she's the illustrator and she has to love what she draws. Otherwise, she'll probably find making colouring books to be more of a chore, and then we wouldn't see new books from her, which would be a crying shame. For me personally, I'd just love to see her mix it up next time. Maybe bring back that storytelling side or take us somewhere completely new. I think that would get people really excited again. So yeah, that's my honest take on Wonderful Wildflowers. It's calm, it's beautifully made, but probably not her most daring or adventurous book. I'm going to show you a few of my favourite pages from the book now, because I don't want this to be a negative review, and there are illustrations that I love in this book. But let me know what you think then. Are you loving the book, or do you miss the super detailed worlds of her older books? Put your thoughts in the comments below. I always love to hear them. And remember, Johanna has so many books, people are bound to have preferences for which ones they like best and which ones they're not so keen on. So this book's only been released in the UK today and it's already a bestseller. So it tells you everything you need to know. We all adore Johanna, we all love her style, that won't ever change. But I think it's just the content we'd like to see changed up a bit. But again, that will of course always depend on what the artist loves to draw, and that's just as it should be. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Colour with Claire.